From First Coast News, this is Good Morning Jacksonville.
I'm Monica Garcia. Good morning. We're here in Northwest Jacksonville with some breaking news. This dumpster is where a 2-year-old little girl was found safe after she was kidnapped from her home last night. That child was apparently taken from an apartment around 9 o'clock by a woman who simply walked into the apartment without the parents noticing and took the child. Thankfully, that child was found safe about 3 miles away from her home. We're going to keep tracking this story and we'll bring you updates in about 10 minutes. Lindsay, back to you.
And I'm Lindsay Boach in the Information Center. Following breaking news, one of the busiest roads in Atlanta is shut down after a fire on I-85. It happened during rush hour traffic yesterday. Thankfully, no one was hurt in all of this, but crews have a lot of cleanup to do today. I'll have much more coming up in about 15 minutes, but right now let's go to meteorologist Mike Prangley. He's got to check your weekend forecast. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, hey, Lindsay, we're tracking a front this morning, but it's the Friday fizzle, okay, as we sizzle. So here it is. We've got a front, no cold air behind it. The big concern is this. It's going to shift the winds around. It's going to turn windy this afternoon, so a very high fire risk is back in the forecast. Now, what we're going to talk about is a record-setting finish to March as well. As a result, not much rain, a high of 89, which would break last year's record of 88 degrees. But stay tuned. We've got the Clay County Fair, some fireworks weather, and nature will provide its own fireworks next week. Maybe not once, but twice. I'll show you that 7-day in 5 minutes. But first, let's get to Katie Jeffries in the VyStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you very much, Mike. So let's get you guys out the door this morning. This is a look at I-95, the Fuller-Warren Bridge, picking up, but not seeing any delays there. So let's take a look at our traffic maps now, help y'all out. If you are traveling along I-95 through the south side, you're moving up to speed. Not seeing any problems on I-10 or on US 17 at the moment. It's been relatively pretty nice on our roadways so far. Haven't had any major crashes. So US 17 even through Orange Park and Blanding looks great there. Down towards Green Cove Springs, no problems with the Shands Bridge. So far, pretty good, but that congestion is starting to pick up. It'll start to kick in by about 6:45. Back to you, Lou.
Okay, let's do it. First superhero book. Superman and Supergirl come from the planet Krypton. They have lots of superpowers and they get their energy from the sun. They can fly.
My main man, that's my Ollie right there, reading a bedtime story to your child, truly. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right? It's a fantastic part of the day. No matter how hectic the whole work day was, there's always time for it and always a great way to unwind. A lot of you watching right now, I get it, okay? Running around, getting the kids ready, getting yourself ready, and it's hard to kind of stop. But take a moment and watch, because at night, when it comes time to tuck in your child, there's no sacrificing a moment like this. It is simply the best. I speak from personal experience. It's not just about the benefits of family time either. A study done way back in 2015 says reading to your children at bedtime is the key to literacy.
Talk now about the city of Jacksonville. It is the largest when it comes to area in the U.S. And according to the latest census numbers, the population of the River City is just above 842,000 people. Let's take a quick trip right now to the Bagram Air Base. Is all the way out in Afghanistan. It is the largest U.S. military installation in that country. According to PBS, 2.5 million veterans served in Afghanistan and the Iraq wars. That's 3 times the number of people right here in Jacksonville. Let's stop and think about that.
And according to a new report, the average time for deployment in the U.S. is just under 8 months. That's 8 months away from your family. So let's say somebody deploys in the beginning of October. Here are the holidays that they would miss: Halloween, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Easter, Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and that's not to mention birthdays, anniversaries, or even births of children, soccer games, dance recitals, countless memories.
So this is the part of the morning where you're asking yourself right now, where are we going with all this? And that's okay. It all goes back to this thought: reading to your child at night. Those 2.5 million veterans missed all of those holidays, those big events, but it's also these little things that we may take for granted, like a bedtime story. So now a St. Augustine father is making it possible for other moms, other dads who travel for work, or maybe those stationed overseas, to stay connected with their children. He's doing so with new technology that allows you to read a bedtime story to your child from anywhere in the world. First Coast News' Monica Garcia now has more on how he came up with this great idea.
Hey kids, how you doing?
Well, that's me trying out the Storytime app with Brian Ross's kids, Sophia and Roscoe. Their father co-created the application after missing these faces while away on business.
So by the time I actually get to really talk to the kids, it's too late and they're in bed and it's, I miss them.
The St. Augustine father spent 2 years helping perfect this application.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
And making it one of the few where you can read your child a bedtime story via video chat from anywhere in the world.
We get to see the kids and you can read the book together.
Like they're here with us, but really in reality they're at a different place.
But for Ross, who's also an Army veteran, this app goes beyond the 3,000 book library and story time.
I still have friends that are in the military that I was stationed with before, and they tell me how they have full-fledged internet access, and I can just pick up my iPad, pull up the app, and we can talk.
No, it's technology. It's cool.
A different kind of story time, but with the same benefits, bringing families closer together. Monica Garcia, First Coast News.
So the app just launched, and you can download the full storybook collection there as well for $5.99. You get access to thousands of books and, of course, access to your loved ones from anywhere in the world, which is the best part about the whole thing.
Oh, it's such a great idea. Definitely worth that. $5.99 it was. Definitely worth
nothing.
the cost. It's great. And then not just for military families, but so many times you mentioned earlier when you're on a business trip or you're just away from your kids, it's great to be able to connect with them some way, somehow.
And as they're learning to read as well, you don't miss them learning to read and them trying to figure things out, which is really such a cool experience to see them looking at the words and trying to figure it out. So you can read to them, they can read back to you.
Very beneficial. It's good stuff from a gentleman right there in St. Augustine.
All right, 36 minutes now past the hour. Warm, 69 degrees outside, and just ahead, he was the source of a big scandal in President Trump's administration. At 6:50, the deal the former national security advisor wants, so we can learn more about the White House's potential ties with Russia.
But first, shaping up to be a hot day out there. Let's forget about the warm. It's just downright hot. Mike's back with your beach forecast 2 minutes from now.
You're watching Good Morning Jacksonville.
Well, you may have heard about this just before you went to bed last night. We have some new information this morning. JSO now tells us a 2-year-old was found safe in a dumpster in northwest Jacksonville after the child was taken from an apartment, we're told, almost 3 miles away. Parents, they were with her, they were with the toddler when another woman just walked into that apartment, but the parents didn't even notice her. The child was taken and apparently taken to a dumpster on Gulf Brook Road. The woman who allegedly took that baby is now in police custody, but no word yet on any charges.
Great to be with you. In fact, out here in the weather garden, very dry soil behind me and very breezy. So we're very concerned today about that very high fire risk, especially this afternoon. Now, as we look out here at Everbank, a lot going on downtown, including the Shrimp and Suds right across the street. Now, tomorrow it's a go. Looks like plenty of sunshine and a great start to April. Temperatures in the middle to upper 80s and lower humidity. But for today, we're tracking fizzling showers and the sizzle is on. Check out the beach weather. Even on the sand, South Jacksonville Beach, my weather pick of the day, the place to be. How about 88 degrees? Not looking for a sea breeze, but again, with the wind really kicking up this afternoon, got to keep a very close eye on that fire threat. Now, as we go through the weekend, we're going to see a little cooler weather on the way Sunday with that main range staying to the north. Beneficial rain, though, maybe several days next week. We'll have that in the 7-day coming right up. But first, we got Katie Jeffries in the 5-star Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you, Mike. Watching the Buckman Bridge because that congestion is starting to build, especially on the side that takes you towards the Mandarin area. Going towards Orange Park, looking a little bit better. But when you take a look at our traffic maps, no crashes to report. So that is some great news. Now, if you are traveling through the downtown area, wanted to let you know Main Street Bridge is going to close overnight tonight, 6:30 tonight till 6 a.m. on Sunday. Use the Acosta Bridge this weekend if you are headed towards downtown. That's that normal rehab work they've been doing. Speaking of construction work that we have seen seen for quite some time. Dames Point Bridge, the outside lanes, northbound and southbound, still blocked this morning as you make your way across the bridge. But other than that, look at this. If you're driving in on 95, that congestion hasn't kicked in just yet, but by about 7 a.m. it probably will. Also, 295, the Beltway, have not seen any problems, any crashes that will add on to your normal congestion that you see in the morning, but I'll keep watching it. Lewis.
Thank you. 6:42 is your time now, and still no closure this morning after the death of a beloved teacher in Jacksonville. Up next, the progress being made now to find that teacher's killer.
And I'm Lindsay Boach in the Information Center, still tracking that breaking news from last night. A bridge collapse in Atlanta on I-85. I'll have the very latest for you coming up after the break.
.45, and right now you're going to be thankful you're not a commuter in Atlanta this morning. Perhaps the worst thing ever could possibly happen. A live shot here from Atlanta as we're looking at what is left. One of the city's busiest highways, I-85, a portion of it there, an overpass, collapsed.
Yeah, you can see crews are still out there right now. I-85 was shut down. It's still shut down now. This is video of that fire that triggered the collapse, but crews still aren't sure exactly what caused the collapse. Lindsay Boach will have more in just 2 minutes. We're also following breaking news right here in Jacksonville. You may have seen this just before you went to bed. A 2-year-old was kidnapped from an apartment on the northwest side.
And police officers say that they found the toddler safe almost 3 miles away in a dumpster. Monica Garcia joining us now live with all of the details in this case. Monica.
Well, good morning, guys. Yes, and it's hard to believe, it's hard to even say a little girl was found inside of this trash dumpster, but that's exactly what happened last night. So check this out. We're in a residential area. This dumpster is where the little girl was found safe. We're talking about a 2-year-old who was kidnapped from her home. You're getting a look into the dumpster where police found her by listening and following her cries. So this all unfolded around 9 o'clock last night. The toddler's family says somehow the kidnapper gained access inside of their home, took the little girl without their parents or anybody really noticing, and then brought her right here to this dumpster. So investigators say the family does know the kidnapper. She has not been identified. We do know that she's in her mid-20s. The child's family told officers to kind of start looking in this Gulf Brook area, just off of Gulf Brook Drive in Ribault. As they started looking and searching the area, officers heard cries.
It was an officer. It was an officer that was searching this area. They were running up and down the street. Again, we were brought here via the family, and when the officers were here, the officer heard a child crying, and then diligent search of the area found the child in that dumpster that you see behind me.
So obviously a disturbing story. We have some employees from a nearby preschool. This dumpster is located right next to it. I spoke to an employee who tells me it's really disturbing knowing that some of the kids that actually go to this preschool are the same age or even younger than that little girl. By the way, that kidnapping suspect is in police custody this morning. From Northwest Jacksonville, Monica Garcia, First Coast News, and Lindsay, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. We're still following that breaking story out of Atlanta. Portions of I-85 collapsed after a fire last night. I have some new information for you. So the northbound lanes is where that collapse is. Southbound lanes, they're actually right now checking the integrity of that bridge right there. There's some cherry pickers that are under there assessing the damage. Still some small fires, but looking at this map, you could see exactly where this happened. Just to the north of Atlanta, a few miles to the north of there. What we know from Atlanta fire is that it was a heavy fuel load. Governor Nathan Deal has said that it might have been some PVC pipes. Underneath that bridge is a storage area, and following WXIA's coverage, they're saying that there's an increase in homeless population that has been staying under that bridge as well. This is going to be a nightmare for those folks who are living in the Atlanta area this morning, having to make all those detours. Portions of that bridge gone, just collapsed. About 220 to 250,000 people travel on that roadway every day. Nobody was injured in all of this, thanks to the quick reactions from Atlanta Fire.
We saw when we got here heavy smoke, heavy fire pushing from up under the bridge, and we could not make access up under due to the heavy fire and the possibility of collapse. Our incident commanders made a good decision to back everybody up, and less than a few minutes later, that bridge collapsed.
So we're a little bit more than 12 hours past the initial fire, and you can see there are still some small fires that are burning there, some smoke still coming up. So now a few things that they have to do is A, figure out what caused this fire, and B, figure out the integrity of those southbound lanes before they can then start to repair I-85. Keitha?
It's just a miracle no one was hurt in that.
It is. There's so many people that travel along that roadway.
All right, thank you for that. A quick check of your time now. It's 49 minutes past the hour. Well, a community comes together to remember a woman who taught young kids so much. A vigil was held for San Jose Elementary School teacher Deborah Lyles just last night. She was killed in her Panama Park home last week, and police still are searching for suspects involved in that death. Her students say that Miss Lyles was truly one of a kind.
She was like a better, more improved music teacher than the rest that I had. Like, she had more expectations in music than other teachers.
My goodness. Now, if you know anything that can help to make an arrest in this case, you're urged to please call Crime Stoppers. You know the number. It's 866-845-TIPS.
Time is 6:49. He was taken out of the White House because of a Russia scandal just a month ago, but a former national security advisor will not go away. An attorney for Michael Flynn says he wants a deal now from congressional intelligence committees to give testimony about the possible ties between Russia and the Trump campaign. Flynn resigned from the White House in February amid a controversy about his conversations with Russian officials. He is looking for immunity in order to testify. North Carolina now rolling back a controversial law. The governor there agreed to roll back the bathroom bill, House Bill 2, which made rules about bathrooms people who are transgender can use. The NCAA said it would move events because of the law, but may consider moving events back because of the new move. Decisions for basketball have to be made by next month, by the way. Incredible video from Washington State this morning. Look, this is the moment an EF0 tornado ripped through a mobile home and RV park. Toppled 2 trailers there, and no one was hurt. How about that? Everyone seemed to have gotten out just fine. High winds caused problems in other parts of the West as well, with wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour in California and Nevada. And here we are just hoping for any rain. And it is a very big weekend for college basketball fans. Final Four time for both the men and the women in the NCAA basketball tournaments. On the men's side, South Carolina will face 1 seed Gonzaga. North Carolina, the 1 seed, will play Oregon, number 3 seed as well. We'll see what happens with the women's side as South Carolina's in that one too, playing against Stanford 7:30 tonight. And number 1 ranked UConn, who can beat them? Maybe Mississippi State, we'll see. They're looking for their 5th straight national championship, the UConn Huskies. We'll be watching. Keitha, back to you.
All right, folks, the weekend is finally here. Let's take a live look right now outside. This is Everbank Field. As the sun rises this morning, it's slowly coming up. It'll get here. It's going to be another hot day, though. For more on that, we're going to turn things over to meteorologist Mike Prangley.
Yeah, stay cool by the pool. I mean, talk about this. So yesterday it was plenty hot, right? Hit 91 in Mandarin. 88 officially was the high temperature. Jacksonville International near record highs. 87 was the actual, so we got within 1 of the 3-degree guarantee today. I think we hit the record high of 89, so get out the shades on Pet Friendly Friday, right? We talk about temperatures by noon, low to mid 80s, and yes, that rain to our west is a fizzle as we sizzle. Here we go. Here's your front coming our way, just too much drier, and we're being dry slotted right now, so maybe a brief shower late morning, early afternoon for areas like Folkestone, but maybe a 5-minute shower at best. So here's my big concern. Even though we've got great weather for our plans, the fire danger is going to really whip up with those winds this afternoon into the very high range. That'll continue through most of the weekend, even on Monday, and this could be from lightning strikes, that fire danger in the very high range. We're going to keep our eyes to the sky as well tonight for fireworks at the Clay County Fair. We got 70s, the Youth Dairy Show, great show going on, and we're going to just run in the weekend, a 10 out of 10 on the Prangley Runner rating because we've got big runs, a half marathon, the 5K at the Landing on Sunday, and the Spud Run, Hastings, Florida. Check it out. 50s back in the forecast tomorrow morning. That'll feel good. 76 by 10:30. But I said we do need the rain, and we're going to see a little cool down Sunday. There's 83, and it would be Monday into Tuesday. Most of us do finally get that beneficial rain, but maybe a severe weather threat, and then more rain Thursday into Friday and cooler 70s. So all in all, Great start to April, but boy, watching that fire threat. Let's get to Katie Jeffries in the ViStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. This is your power block of traffic. Congestion building, especially if you're going on I-10 eastbound. That is this side right here. So starting to see those brake lights. Let's take a look here at our traffic maps. So if you're traveling on I-10 eastbound, it's about 8 to 10 minutes already to go from 295 towards downtown. That builds to about 15 minutes by about 7:05. If you're traveling across the Buckman Bridge, congestion on the side, we typically see it going towards Mandarin, but no accidents reported on the bridge at the moment. If you're traveling on JTB coming in from the beaches, no reported slowdowns there, 11 minutes from A1A towards I-95, but you can bet I-95 will start to be congested by about 7:15 as well. Now, Atlanta, I would not go towards Atlanta. Those of you that maybe work in Atlanta, it's going to be a nightmare today because of the I-85 collapse. I tweeted a look at the detour around that in Atlanta if you want to take a look at it. But again, no matter what we see on our roadways today, just be thankful you are not an Atlanta commuter. Keitha.
All right, Katie, let's get to your top stories now at 6:54. The fire chief in Nassau County will be out of a job next month. The manager's office there tells us an evaluation was done to determine the future of the department, and it was decided that Chief Matt Graves would no longer serve in that role. That's starting in April. When we asked if this was related to the county's response to the Briceville wildfire, the manager's office declined to comment.
We got new information for you this morning about a large police presence at a club in Jacksonville. Talking about Wacko's Gentlemen's Club. It's on the south side on Emerson, raided by multiple agencies last night. Officials haven't told us why they were there, but the club went on Facebook overnight to say that it was temporarily closed because of a fire code violation.
For the second time in just 1 week, the First Coast has lost another World War II veteran. This is Herman Kelly Sr. He died on March 23rd at the age of 94. He joined the Army in 1942 and was honorably discharged in 1946. Kelly will be laid to rest at the Jacksonville National Cemetery on Laney Road this morning at 11.
3, 2, 1.
All right, SpaceX continues to make history doing new things, doing something it never did before during last night's launch in Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, for the first time, it reused a rocket booster to take a communication satellite into space. And the rocket landed safely again on a pad in the ocean after that launch.
The work will start up soon again to restore the beaches in Duval County. The Army Corps of Engineers is going to be out there next week to resume work on a shore protection project. Of course, the dunes were wiped away during Hurricane Matthew, terrible erosion there, but the dunes did their job to protect a lot of Jack's Beach. That work will start in Atlantic Beach next week, expected to wrap up June 1. Hey, Jacksonville Giants moving on to the postseason. How about these guys heading to the ABA Final Four? And it was a really big comeback. They had to come back and beat the Baltimore Hawks. A high-scoring affair, 139-137, and they're back in action tomorrow. They win that game, they'll off to the finals on Sunday. After a lot of shakeups last season, Jacksonville Armada hitting the field this weekend for their first game of the season. Head coach Mark Lowry will lead his team against Edmonton, Canada's team on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, the team doesn't play at the baseball grounds anymore, though. Armada plays at UNF Stadium. The game kicks off at 4 o'clock Sunday. Lots going on this weekend. Goodness.
It is. A lot of runs going on, and the shrimp, the suds and shrimp across the street. I think that'll be a great event. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. We take a look at the 7-day forecast, and yes, it's going to be a dry weekend for all your pens. A little cooler Sunday. If it's too hot for you, that'll be your day. Good beach day. Then the severe weather could hit late Monday and maybe again late next week. So we get the rain next week, but keep an eye to the sky.
Congestion there on the Buckman Bridge. Looks like you got a broken down car in the right shoulder on the side taking you towards Mandarin. Just congestion at this point on your roadways. Anything else happens, I'll let you know. But, Atlanta, we'll keep following that situation.
Stay away from it, huh?
Cheers to
We'll
Atlanta.
see you right back here in 30 minutes. Enjoy your weekend, folks.